The NFT market's been an absolute bloodbath. We have just seen a whole bunch of red. You can see it right here. It's just been absolute chaos over the past 7 days, but it's actually been bleeding out for a lot longer. What we're going to do in today's video is jump in, have a look at all of the different projects, all of the charts, all the prices, and see just where it went all wrong and if there is a bottom in sight. First off, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. You got to do your own research before moving in on the space. This space is risky. We're all losing fat bags. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Right here, having a look at the market overview and what's going on. This is over the last 7 days. You can see the floor here on a lot of these projects are just down immensely, and this is over the last 7 days. Now, what I also want to point out here is even if we go over the last 30 days, it is a similar situation. We can just see a whole bunch of red as well. The idea here is that it doesn't look like any particular project is immune to this. Everything is just on the downtrend. Now, something that I do want to point out is you're going over the last 3 months. So we're going to be looking at the 3-month period at this point in time. 3-month period, Bored Ape Yacht Club has gone from an average of 60 down to around 30. 3 months halved in price, which is just straight chaotic, straight crazy. When we have a look at Azuki, and this will make sense, we're coming back to Azuki, obviously from the title, you kind of know where this is heading. Now with Azuki, it looked like it was stable, it looked like it was bucking the trend, and then we've just had an absolute free fall. 3 months ago, average price, let's say 16 ETH. Right now, we are around 6 ETH. So it's more than 50% off over this 3-month period. When we have a look at DGods, and DGods is a new entry to the market over this past 3-month period. I'll move this. We can see the same kind of ordeal. DGods has been chopping around, doing quite decent, and this is at the sort of between the 9 and 8 ETH mark. So I was just trying to pop between that 10 and then just absolutely popped off. Now DGods is faring quite well from around that 8.5, 9 ETH down to around that sort of 7 ETH mark. So that isn't too bad. And the same thing when we have a look at Pudgy Penguins, chopping around, went up to some dizzying highs close to that 6 ETH mark, but since then it is pulling off. Overall, that is down over that 3-month period, but from the top and that peak, that 6 ETH down to around 4 ETH, so just under half that value down. So why am I bringing up all these charts? Basically, when we have a look, it looks like Azuki has been the main culprit within the space. What Azuki has done is when Elementals dropped, their Genesis collection, their main collection has just dropped off and absolute freefall. It's been terrible. Now, overall, the reception on the Azuki Elementals hasn't been good. And what I started to notice on the charts is if we actually have a look here in this period, it almost seems, and yes, it seems like a bit of a stretch, but it almost seems that when we take into account from the 27th of June, we can see a little bit of a free fall. That is this little part here. We can just see a step down, and a decent step down from around those mid 30s, so just under that 40 ETH down to around 30 ETH, so that's a little bit crazy. Then when we have a look at DGods on a similar position, we can see here around this point, soon as Elementals dropped, it has kind of dropped off and taken a sharp decline. And then with Pudgy Penguins, we can see a similar deal. We can see them at around this point here, and then as soon as the Elementals comes out, we've seen a drop down. Then we're going to go over with the Captains, same kind of deal. We can see the 27th at around here, and then it has just dropped off, but that is also another point for another thing because the Captains have also had their reveal, so that also kind of plays into it. It's not just heavy on Azuki. Basically, what I'm getting at is I'm not saying the entire market as a whole has crashed because of Azuki, but I think this comes down, and it comes down to an underlying issue with trust in the NFT market, trust in the space as a whole. When we have a look at Bored Ape Yacht Club over their all-time pricing, we can see a top of around of 140 ETH, and it is down. It is just absolutely in the dumps, going crazy. Now, people were looking at Azuki as the shining beacon, as the light in the space, something that was bucking the trend, providing value to the holders, just doing an absolute cracker of a job. But when we actually have a look at Azuki, irrespective of this little pump, because this was the Zagabond thing, overall, the trend was up. It was actually moving forward, providing value. So the drop in Azuki, which I believe is the second biggest in the space, the second big ecosystem, second big value component and value holder of wealth when it comes to JPEG wealth, I think Azuki dropping the bag on elementals just showed what, just how the lack of trust that we can have in projects and people and founders in the space as a whole. Everyone kind of knew that we couldn't trust people because some people weren't dogs, some people were just in it for a bag. We've seen it when open editions, we've seen it with meme coins, we've seen it with every single variations of things. Influencers would jump on Twitter, go hard, shill their stuff, extract as much liquidity and bounce. And it seemed like there were a couple of projects, blue chip projects, that were doing quite well, that would hold wealth, that would actually deliver value to holders. And it seems that value to holders is the team executing without an issue taking place, like with them just going hardcore, all out, and just making sure that they keep essentially just providing free liquid to the holders. This is when you end up coming back to something like Bored Ape. This was the Yuga team just keep giving apes free liquid, which meant that the price was going to run up. And then with apes realizing that they weren't actually getting much free liquid back out of it, the price comes back down. With Azuki, the fact that there was you had Beans, you had a team that was delivering on some events and some things. It looked like they were going to provide insane value and continue to provide value. That's why the price is going up. But this drop down has just made it seem like the team has spat in the face of the holders going, hey, we're not going to provide additional value to the space. We're just going to raise a buttload of money and extract liquidity and just go ham. That's what it feels like. And I feel like that has then spawned into distrust into other projects in the ecosystem, irrespective of whether their founders' teams are actually executing or not. It's almost like the collective mindset of the space, the 15 people that are left here, are going, why should we care? Why should we care? Why should we hold on to this project? Because if Azuki can do this, what's stopping other projects from doing this? And this is the issue that I think we're kind of facing, is the fact that Azuki was not necessarily the nail in the coffin, but it was very damn close to the nail in the coffin that was the trust of the space, because this was the second biggest thing in the space that was kind of like holding the glue together, going, hey, this is what a top tier community looks like. This is what a value giving to holders looks like. This is what branding, this is what all of that looks like. That's my kind of little thing. This is what I think this distills down to. Azuki has ruined the NFT space because of a play that has then put doubt in the minds of other people holding on to their core beliefs when it comes to projects, and things just aren't well. Are NFTs dead? No, they're not. There are still plays to be made. I'm writing up a video right now on a project that's going to be dropping on Polygon, supported by the Polygon network. If you have a look at what's happening over on Ordinals, I know a lot of people are like, Ordinals, what the hell's going on there? If you've got people making good plays in places where there are new liquidities, people are looking to make money. If you have a look at when Reddit kicked off, there was money to be made on Reddit. There are still money to be made in NFTs, but so they're not dead. It's just a different mindset and a different approach. You can't be doing the same thing over and over, because the market finds a way to streamline and get very efficient at what it's doing, which then means that people are able to exploit it to then extract liquidity and make some money. So yes, the way I'm going about it is Azuki has killed the market, but not in the way that you think. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you found value in this video. If you did, go down there, hit that subscribe button. If you hate NFTs, tell me how much you hate NFTs. Make the laughing emojis. I don't care. Thank you very much to the engagement gods. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.